Hi Taurus. Welcome to your mid-January reading. I know that your January reading has been so delayed that it is now in fact a mid-monthly. So I'm sorry for that, and I'm just going to include your extended in this video rather than the Vimeo because you're late. So the Vimeo one for February will roll as normal, but this is going to be all-consuming good reading, okay? So that's my way of saying sorry, because I know you guys, yeah, you're not materialistic, but you value your money and you value your time, and it's important this month to do just that. So I'm not going to make you pay for anything extra when you're late anyway. So Taurus, interesting. New moon in Aquarius on the 24th is squaring off Uranus in your sign. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, but Uranus is dealing in your energy at the minute, and you're feeling the fixed sign tension. And the way that any fixed sign, or any sign in general, handles this new moon is by being flexible and being open-minded. Okay, let's start. Knight of Cups. For you, you are sensing that anyone around you acting impulsively is naive. You could be surrounded by a lot of sensitive people for the new moon, so do try and watch what you say, particularly if you have a new romantic interest. King of Cups. Okay. Venus is coasting through Pisces, and that is very harmonious for just about everyone, romantically speaking. 8 of Wands. And for you, it's no exception, because Pisces is that beautiful, wishful side of the sky for you where things just seem to click into place. And then that new moon comes along squaring off Uranus, and you start to feel agitated, and you start to feel silly, and you start to question everything. Knight of Pentacles. And for a Taurus, you overthink your speed and the speed of everyone around you to an unhealthy degree sometimes, and you need to keep occupied with your work, because Aquarius season will be keeping you very driven in your career, very supported by those around you, but you need to make sure that the speed that you're going at is your choice. Queen of Wands and the High Priestess. Okay. So trusting your intuition in terms of your next financial move is very important, and particularly if you're considering a fire sign, you need to be very careful about what you tell them, and be very careful about wanting what they have, because you can be quite possessive. There's something that this fire sign possesses that you'd like, particularly if it's a Leo. And perhaps it is their ability to be warm and optimistic regardless of how many times they fall or are stabbed in the back. Something about their energy is making you tired, but it's not for reasons that you think. It's more to do with one of you wanting something the other possesses, or one of you keeping a secret. I think there's a very strong emphasis, Taurus, that fire signs are keeping secrets from you, but it's important that you realize that no matter what they're keeping, you are going to be ahead of your game. King of Pentacles. And the Page of Wands, particularly if you are focused on your career. But it requires you to be very, very certain, very, very clear about what pace you want to go at and what projects you want to keep up in the air at the minute. 6 of Swords. What is it that you want for yourself that you don't have right now? What is it that you would like to achieve? Because you have a very, very, very strong chance in Aquarius season, particularly as we approach your season, of making a name for yourself. But you have to make sure that you're not feeling That you're not feeling that possessive tinge that you get when you think someone is taking a friend away from you, when you think someone's taking a lover away from you, when you think that someone's taking your role away from you. The likelihood, Taurus, is that you're being taken away from more things than are being taken away for you. You must resist the need to possess, because Aquarius season, nobody is going to let you do that. And that's why Aquarius season is tough for Taurus. You guys have a way of doing thing that works for you, and it can be very routine and it can be very specific. And this season's saying, no, try doing something else. Try creating something new, creation. Try clearing your space. Try staging your environment. Try moving your furniture around. Try reorganizing things. Try clearing out a few things. If you want something new to come in, give away a few things. Isolation. Give away that old suit hanging in your closet that you don't need, that you've never worn, that you've never wanted. And release the false facade of feeling like you have it all together. See, the thing about Aquarius season for you is that you want to look like you have it all together, and you're likely quite jealous of anyone that you think does. And you need to be careful of that, because your perception is not quite right. You can learn from the people that you want things from. If you're dealing with a water sign, there seems to be things heating up romantically. And if you're interested in an earth sign, just to be clear, the water signs are Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. You're learning a lot from the water signs. Kuan Yin, compassion. Release judgments about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. See, that fire sign? Release judgments about them and release judgments about yourself. You are not all the things that are constantly repeated about you. You're not boring. You're not, well, you're stubborn, but you're not stubborn to the point that you can't listen, that you can't perceive things, that you can't see a different perspective. You're none of those things. But you can get stuck. Iseult, undying love. The love that you have shared is eternal regardless of the situation. So if you're in conflict with anybody, realize it's coming from a trapped judgment of some kind. Quite possibly that you are maybe spending too much time alone. Three of Cups wants you to socialize, to meet, to mingle, to understand, to enjoy people. If you're dealing with an earth sign, another Taurus, a Capricorn, or a Virgo, this Page of Wands and Six of Swords energy is saying that both of you have a common objective. With the Page of Wands, there are commonalities, Hierophant, and you both enjoy the same kind of fun and the same kind of commitments, but you're both thinking of the future, whether this is a new person or an old person. You're both making a lot of considerations as to what comes next. So because we're not jumping into an extended in Vimeo, we're going to continue it here. Knight of Cups and the Nine of Wands. If you want to let love in, you need to stop throwing out terms such as I give up, I can't do it, this won't work. All the I can'ts and the I don'ts and that sort of language needs to be liberated. Aquarius energy is all about liberation, and you need to liberate some ideas about love. Even if you're in a relationship, just for a while, try thinking more about the future and what you want from your partner rather than what has constantly been. Five of Cups. And if you're heartbroken over a water sign or disappointed, please bear in mind, Taurus, that there is hope of something new, something special. And if you've been dealing, Four of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. If you are heartbroken, it's very much encouraging you to look at your finances and work harder on your bank account. Don't let that slip just because somebody else slipped. Three of Cups. Ooh. Interesting. Three of Cups. Your friendships, your social connections are crowning you. Aquarian time is a social season. And for you, yes, it's all about career, it's all about money, but you need to, and it's a lot to do with reputation as well, but you need to make sure that you're staying connected, because a lot of people, Emperor, particularly if you're socializing in work, connections will form and it will lead you to what you want. This season, stay social. Now that fire sign, that Aries, that Leo, that Sagittarius, and to an extent there's a Pisces here. There is a feeling of competition, wanting something they have, but they have ideas, they have answers that can provide you with what you want. Now, if you're dealing with a fire sign romantically, they want to rush things or you want to rush things. The pace is off. Trust your intuition when making that kind of judgment call, because the speed, again, Taurus, the speed. You don't want to be foolish, but you want to be excited. I understand that. Uranus, 5 of Pentacles. Uranus and the new moon are conflicting emotionally. One is saying go, go, go. The other is saying think of the future. Will this last? Will this not? Your intuition has a fair idea, and if it's with the Pisces, I think there's a chance of love, of making home, of having good conversation, of understanding. But I think that's more if it's new. If this is something that's gone, I think you're better feeling like something new, something better is coming in its place, Taurus. Because it is. Now, for anybody in your life that is being very, very, very sneaky, and I hate to say it, but I think there could be some sort of juggling going on in some area. And I wonder, Taurus, if it might be you. Anything you do in the shadows will be broadcasted in a way, and it will affect your karma in a sense that you cannot move past for a long time. That Saturn-Pluto conjunction is saying that anybody that is messing with their karma or messing or interfering in other people's lives is going to get a very, very, very heavy judgment upon them. So be careful with what you're doing. Make sure everything you're doing is something you'd be okay with happening to you. Because in February we have a full moon in Leo, and I think if you're doing something untoward, or someone in your family is doing something untoward, it's going to come out, and it's going to come out big. And it will change the course of the year for you. Not to sound heavy, but forewarned is forearmed. Strength and the King of Swords. An air sign in your life, an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, or a fire sign. Be careful of toxic dynamics where one person's narcissistic and one person's codependent. Somebody in your life has that relationship, possibly you have that relationship. The King of Wands and the King of Swords. Taurus, if you have to make a choice, go with the person that gives you the most. Do not go for the person that takes the most and drains you of your Empress energy. For you will end up alone if you choose wrongly. And you will also, even if things don't go quite right, and you're feeling as though everything's not in your favor, you will be reborn with a lot more compassion and emotional understanding for yourself and for your future choices. 2 of Wands. And so, 3 of Wands, sorry. So you stand on the precipice of your new journey. One where you expect a bit more than you've been getting. 9 of Pentacles, you feel a lot more content with your career, with the objectives that you're setting. Start small if you want something new to change and see if the difference is recognized, and if not, there's time and patience to make the next move. I think before July, Taurus, a lot of you are going to be making changes in your career. You have a 6 months, yep, until Leo season. You have a 6-month window to make a change, to start a new venture, and if it's not working out by the summer, you will know, though I doubt it, you will know that you have something to come back to. See, that's interesting because it's almost as though by the time we get to the summer, a lot of you have moved, relocated. A lot of you have made an important decision that you've been long delaying. Ace of Swords. And if you're back and forth about a Leo or a Sagittarius, you could be back and forth for a few more months until you finally get clarity. And the clarity comes from you deciding you're not going to take any crap. And what they do from that is their decision. Page of Swords. But you'll know by the summer what in your life is growing and what isn't, and what is good for your personal growth and what isn't. Page of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles is kind of ruthless. The Queen of Swords is particularly ruthless. She asserts boundaries and she asserts them big. And you're looking to move to this King of Pentacles area here where things are calm. So if things are calm, 6 months is a long time to spend with a drama queen, especially if it's an Aries. Something in your life is draining you, it's making you anxious, and I think by the summer it's going to be gone. It or they. And if you're embarking on a relationship with an earth sign, if you're embarking on a relationship with an earth sign, they cannot accept you if you're rejecting yourself, and I think they want to accept you. I think they want to give it a go. If it's someone in your life for a long time and it's an earth sign, particularly another Taurus, be sensitive with each other's style of communication and expect better. Change your language, change your love language. For Mercury is currently at Aquarius, making you that little bit more defensive and that little bit more determined to get your boundaries and your points across. But it can be very isolating with the Hermit here if you decide to pick fights because you're bored or because you're unsure that this 10 of Cups moment is in your future. You're manifesting all the time, and with Uranus being so electric and having your sign in it, really, Taurus, a lot of the sparks that fly in your world are very dependent on whether or not you feel good about yourself. And I know that Uranus being in your sign is an unusual thing for a Taurus. And that it's going to provoke some endings if you don't feel like you have the freedom to be you, if you don't feel like you're understood, if you're not, you know, getting that worldly success. And I think this is why it's so beautiful, because a lot of the time, Taurus, you don't leave where you need to be. If there's somebody incredibly toxic and difficult in your work environment, I think it's their time to go. I think between now and the summer, you're going to be pretty relieved to see the back of something or someone that has long led to you feeling very, very, very trapped and very restricted and scared to speak, and dare I say it, possibly quite heartbroken. For a lot of you in your work environment, there is a feeling that what is unfair for the team should have been gone a long time ago. Many people are in agreement, but many people know that legally they can't do anything, so they wait. Hanged Man, Knight of Wands, the Lovers, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. If you're waiting for love and all you are attracting are the love them and leave them types, say no and see how quickly that changes. And then when you do that, when you sit in your power, when you feel confident in who you are, and you address the trauma that's provoking a lot of decisions for you. I think the Leo new moon, the Leo full moon in February is bringing out some anxieties for you that really need to be addressed. And that is what leads you to love. To connection, to harmony, to fulfillment, to reciprocal dealings, to a change in your perception, seeing through the facades, ending your isolation, and creating something new. The first 6 months of this year, Taurus, are a lot to do with you releasing the grip on how things should be and when things should happen the way that they do. And then by summertime, you find yourself coupled. You find yourself realigned in your career. You find that anything troubling you legally has been resolved and that you are supported. And by the summertime, we have a brand new Taurus. And you'll be feeling the effects of Jupiter in Capricorn pretty nicely. Whatever the psychological itch is that stems back to childhood, and we'll deal with this in February, but it's coming up now. You have to let the night fall. You have to let the night fall when it chooses to. And what is shown to you in the light of the moonlight may look very skewed and very scary. But it makes you very, very, very aware why you're acting like you do. And with Uranus on your side, you will break that pattern, and you will make that change, and you will feel liberated and uncomfortable. But you will have a different perspective on why you have allowed the things that you've allowed, even though they make no sense for you as a person. By changing your perception of yourself and allowing other people to think what they want, but proving them wrong all the same, you're likely to shock a few people in your life in the next 7 years, but you will shock them for sure with your sense of adventure and your unusual taste and your unusual choices. It just seems so unlike you. But deep down, the need is still the same. And when you acknowledge that and you see why you're doing things differently and why you're behaving the way that you are, it becomes so much easier. And it becomes so much more accessible. The end of January is an interesting month. And February is an even more interesting month. But the insights that you're getting now, the changes, the acknowledgements, are all setting you up for the thing that you want the most. And for all of you, it's different, but it all comes from the same need, the same craving for this thing that is stable. And with Uranus challenging you, you can feel a little unstable, but it is in rolling with the punches, in rolling with the changes, in seeing the answers, that you start to feel a lot more secure in the fact that whatever is happening around you or to you, you know that you've got it. On that note, I love you very much, and I will see you guys in February. Bye, Taurus.